Good afternoon, and welcome to the 21st Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday Luncheon. Paul told you that my name is Commissioner Elaine Hardy, and I have the distinct privilege and honor of presenting to Lansing some more of our youth contributors to today's event. I had an opportunity last night to visit with young Minister Clayton, and I asked him, because I was going to be introducing him, if there was something in particular he wanted me to share with you about him, and he looked at me and said no. And so, me being the mom that I am, I pressed a little further, and I said, "Are you sure there isn't something that you want me to tell them about you?" And he said, he looked at me very respectfully, and he said, "You better warn them." And when he said that to me, I thought, uh-oh, why would I need to warn them? And as he began to share with me from his heart, I knew why. He reminded me of that young 12-year-old Jesus, who, when his parents went to Jerusalem to the Passover feast, he tarried behind in the temple, and he was there with the doctors of the law, unbeknownst to his parents. Well, 3 days later, when his parents went back to Jerusalem and found their 12-year-old boy, they found him thus, in the temple, asking and answering questions of the doctors of the law. And his parents, Jesus' parents, were worried, like we all would have been, and said, "Son, we were so worried about you. We were scared. We didn't know where to find you." And Jesus said to them, "You were looking for me? Well, didn't you know that I would be about my Father's business?" Well, that's what Joshua told me last night, that he was going to be about his Father God's business. And so Lansing, even though the design is for young Minister Clayton to speak to the youth, I believe, and I know my God, that his words are going to resonate with us all. So what I want you to do is I want you to welcome Unspoken Praise, and then I want you, Lansing, to stand on your feet and welcome young Joshua Clayton when they're finished. Thank you.
Please stand to your feet and welcome Joshua Clayton.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am proud to be here today to commemorate Dr. King Day with you. I'd like to thank the honored guests that are here today, the fellow members of the dais, and speakers. Recently, I have been preaching at my church, New Bethel Baptist Church, under the leadership of Pastor Ira Coleman. Last Sunday, I preached at two of the churches here in Lansing, Michigan, Vessels of Praise under the leadership of Pastor Thomas, and Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church under the leadership of Bishop Roberman. But today, I am not here to preach to you, but instead talk about history. Since Dr. King was such an important part of history, I think it's only fair that we talk about history today. Martin Luther King, he was not only an important part of the African American history, but he was important to the American history. Today's theme is greatness through service, and who better to talk about than Dr. King? A Jewish apostle named Luke talked about the greatness through service through a story he told about a woman who washed a prophet's feet with her tears and dried them with her hair. Not many people are born to be great leaders, although many people think it's easy. Just look at what Dr. King went through. I am here today to provide you with a few challenging words. I apologize in advance if my words are offensive to anybody, but you know what? I didn't travel 1,200 miles across the USA each way to flip verbal somersaults to entertain you. Later today, there will be a choir, a wonderful choir, who will entertain you. That's not my job. Today, I'm here to challenge you in ways to find greatness through service. I'm not here because I have a day off on Dr. King Day. As a matter of fact, I don't even think we should have a day off on Dr. King Day. It should be a day on where we get involved in our communities as Dr. King once did. A day on where we should be visiting the Black History museums. As a matter of fact, my father and I visited 2 years ago the Holocaust Museum, because we as black people weren't the only ones to go through oppression. My dad says injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. We should also have a day on where we make a difference in our communities instead of chilling back at home playing Xbox or PS2. A day on where we should be visiting the nursing homes to see the elderly generation who probably haven't had visits in a long time. My father and I, this morning, we were able to go to a nursing home. My father bought some roses for all the people at the nursing home. When we went there, there was a 27-year-old lady who hadn't had a visit in months. And when we went in there, we gave her some flowers and prayed for her. Her face lit up. If I have time to do this, and I'm not boasting or bragging, but if I have time to do this, then so should you. I'm here to talk about ways to challenge you, to take personal accountability for your actions and behaviors, to make a difference for the families, the country, and even the community that we live in. We need to stop blaming other people, but instead, the question shouldn't be, why doesn't someone else help out in the community? The question should be, what can we do to help out in the community? Black folks I'm talking to right now, my next comments are for us. The question shouldn't be, why doesn't the white man do something to help us out? You know what the question should be? What can we do to help ourselves out?